Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a great show lined up. Another special guest here in the studio. But first, let's take a look at our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. High today, listen to this, first time this fall. High today is 79. It's not getting into the 80s for the first time. So this is interesting. The low's going all the way down to 61. Why? Because we're getting some of that northeast wind and a little cool front coming in. It feels good. The temperature, water temperature at the end of the pier, it's been staying at 85, 86, and I've heard a couple of kings being caught, so we're going to talk about that Friday on our fishing report. Our river reading brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. Looking at the Apalachicola Bluntstown, how about a 2.5? It went down yesterday at 2.6. It's still dropping to a 2.5. I know this weekend going to be a lot of folks on the sandbars. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, how about a 1.5? It went down again yesterday, 1.5. That's a really, really low for the Choctawhatchee River. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Decent tides today. It's going to have a low tide this morning at 8:15 and a high this afternoon or tonight at 11:11. But that northeast wind is going to keep some of that tide pushed back in our base system, so it won't be a lot of tidal flow. So keep all those little things like that in mind. All right, we're going to take a break, come back with our guest. All right, welcome back. And our guest this morning, been on before, Captain Ron Boyce. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Panama City Marine Institute. They're doing an awesome job over there doing all kind of things for young people. And I just want him to come on the show and just share some of the things. But let's go over your background. How long you been with the association, the America Associated Marine Institute?
AMI Kids.
AMI Kids.
AMI Kids. Now, it's since 1988.
Okay.
So I when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was a reconnaissance Marine, which is sort of like a frogman parachute behind enemy lines kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so, what are you going to do? So I became a dive instructor, and somebody said, they're looking for a dive instructor over at the Marine Institute. And I got all excited because, I was young. I was single. I had hair back then, And I thought I was going to go teach diving to all these co-ed biology majors,
Oh, yeah.
And I got over there, and there was a bunch of knucklehead kids in a camp in the swamp.
Knuckleheads, that's right.
And so I started... But I fell in love with it right off the bat. And I taught those kids scuba, and we got canoes, and we went all in the marshes up in South Carolina, Beaufort, South Carolina. Yeah. That was my first place,
Okay.
And been with the company ever since. And so worked everywhere from New Mexico to the program. We had one program I was working at down in the Big Cypress Swamp. And 35, it was down there, 35 miles down into the swamp, and 3 miles up a dirt road. And when the time of the year when the water goes down during the dry season, the alligators, they all congregate in them canals. Mm-hmm. And so that canal was right next to the road the whole way up to work. So. To the camp, the boys' camp, and so you could just count the gators, and probably like 40, 50 gators in a 3 mile stretch, and about 3 of them would be over 12 foot.
Whoa!
And every once in a while I'd have my motorcycle and I'd be driving that, and I'd have to stop, and because I'd see them crossing the road in front of me, and I'd just let them cross, and then I could keep going.
I've been trying to do those stories. I've talked to somebody who's actually had to stop the motorcycle so the gators could cross. That's a good story right there. That's a good outdoor story. I love it. And so you've been around there, then you've been all across the country, like you said.
Oh yeah, I would take the kids kayaking in the mangrove swamps, right?
Yeah.
And so some of those, like you get these little tunnels you're going through, and it's pretty shallow, and then I'm paddling, and there's a gator, like I could reach out of the kayak and touch it. It was underwater, just sitting there. And there's no way to get around it because the tunnel's like, this wide and, this tall. So you just got to go over the gator. And so I'm just like, I'll just be this all calm and cool and hope none of the kids will freak out and flip it. And they did. They all just went right over the gator. And so, you know, you're right in the middle of the wildlife there.
Well, what y'all do so well, you get the kids somewhere around nature. All through the years, y'all got them somewhere around nature, outdoors, and all kind of classroom stuff to talk about it.
I like to say the ocean is our classroom.
The ocean.
The ocean is our classroom.
The natural place like the ocean. And,
yeah.
Your diving background and all. Now, you've been to PCMI off and on.
I've been there 3 times. I was the director of operations back in like '94. Then I was promoted to program or executive director back to South Carolina where I started, St. Beaufort, South Carolina, and then went around up to Virginia. We ran a program on an old Navy ship, you know, up there, and then came back down to PCMI as the executive director around 2000, and I was here for a couple of years. And then we had a program in New Mexico they needed me at real bad, so I went out to the desert and was out there for a little bit. And then finally, I just waited for the opening for PCMI to open up again. And I finally got back in 2014.
Okay.
And that was coming back from the swamp down south.
So you've been the swamp, the desert, and the ocean. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all's classroom, the whole program. That desert had been a challenge also, wasn't it? Working.
Yeah, I was looking for a spot to repel kids off some cliffs, right? So there was a place up there, and I got all the rope gear with me, and I'm climbing and I'm walking through these little trails, and holy smokes, I think I saw like 6 rattlesnakes, and I said, "Yeah, we can't use this spot. We're gonna have to find another spot. This one won't work."
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Now, when you got back down here, I guess you felt like you were coming back home and all. You didn't get around folks. You want to retire here now? You said?
Oh yeah, this is home. My wife's from here. She's born and bred. Both my kids were born in Panama City.
Yeah.
So you know, this is home for me. I mean, and no, I'm not gonna. I'm going to accept another post anywhere else. I'll just stay right here.
Well, what great experiences you had. To say you bringing all these experiences back into the young people you're working. What age group of young people y'all have out there with students?
Well, so after the storm and some changes in the contracts and everything back in 2018 was kind of like a watershed year for PCMI. The same year that Michael hits and pretty much, you know, gut punches the facility because we're right on the water.
Yes.
And also at the same time, we have tremendous contract changes. So we had to basically shut down for a minute, re-engineer ourselves. And so the option that we came back with was a Maritime Academy. And so this is a charter high school specializing in STEM and oceanography and stuff like that. We have a really good aviation program, the Embry-Riddle program.
All right, let's take a break now because you're leading into what we want to talk about, where we are right now. So let's take this break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So here with Captain Ron Boyce, and we're talking about, I'll show you a picture right here. This is the AMI Kids Maritime Academy. It's Bay County's new charter high school, so there's going to be a lot of good things going on there. So tell us, basically, you were saying you're starting, you know, you're working with just a new program itself. You start with just 9th graders and working your way up. And
after the hurricane, we stepped back and we started rebuilding the facility, and because we had to gut the interior, and so I said, well, let's redesign it. Well, you know, while we're at it, so. We're rebuilding it right now. It's probably about 30% done, more than enough for us to use, but it's going to get bigger and bigger. And it's a charter high school, free. There's no fees, because everybody looks at everything we do and they say, well, there's got to be a fee. And I said, no, it's you know, a lot of our STEM technology that is sponsored by Triumph Gulf Coast. So Triumph Gulf Coast helps pay for all the underwater robotics classes. It helps pay for all the aviation classes, and it helps pay for the construction classes as well.
Wow, that is something. We got, you sent me some pictures. We're going to go through some of these pictures and just show some of the kids doing different things. Are these some of them right here? So we're doing one at a time. So
We're still fishing.
Still fishing.
Still fishing.
All right.
We're still doing scuba diving. And that's the key to, a lot of the scientific activities that we're doing.
Okay. I know they enjoy that.
We've added underwater robotics. So we are factory trained and certified. We can help issue factory certifications for the video ray device that I brought here today.
So that's what that is. That's connected. That's all connected.
Yeah, it's operated from the surface. It has a tether. It's got a capability to go down about 1,000 foot. And to operate it takes, you have to do a training course on it.
How deep can it go?
It can go. This can go 1,000 foot. This configuration, you got your video, your camera right here. This has got a 360-degree sonar, and you can also change it, but it's 360 up to 360. And then we have the hands right here to grab stuff right there. So we have another one that has a different sonar. It has a multi-beam sonar.
Yeah.
That's the one you see in the picture. I think she's got the multi-beam one. Much better picture.
That's awesome. My train of thinking when you see that, I think about this is a fish finder on steroids. That's the first thing I think. Look at all the fish down there. I bet y'all have seen some kind of sights. What is this one right here?
Well, we have an aviation program too.
Okay.
So we've got 2 FAA approved flight simulators, meaning that if you get on the program and you do it, you can actually log some of the flying hours on there.
Awesome.
So I've had a couple pilots, Captain Mike Michael and Captain Rusty Russell, got on those because those guys are pilots too.
Oh, cool.
And those guys thought they were in a real plane.
Wow.
The Embry-Riddle program includes drone flying, and here we are flying some drones in the classroom. Of course, these are real safe. They got they got guards over the propellers and everything, and the kids are having a great time.
I know they enjoy that. Okay.
Again, here you can see the underwater robotics at play. It takes a good bit of practice to get a handle. The kids think it's a video game, but it's not. So we also do summer camps. So this was a summer camp that we had this year with Girls Incorporated.
The Girls Club. Girls
Incorporated.
Okay. Yeah.
We took them. We have several partners, and one of our partners, industry partners, is Huntington Ingalls Industries. They're on the beach, and they make that yellow thing right there. That's called the Remus, and that is a UUV.
I'm sorry, which one now?
That yellow torpedo-looking thing he's got his elbow on, that is a UUV. That is an underwater unmanned vessel. This one here is a tether, and you control it and you drive it. That one you have to program it, put it in the water like a torpedo. It runs a course. When it's done, it pops up. You retrieve it, and then you download your data. So these have the ability, They can search and rescue. You can find stuff, pick stuff up. So one of the things we work with FSU, we work with the Underwater Crime Scene School, and we teach their students how to operate this stuff. So like somebody throws a gun in the water, they could find it. We also have the equipment on here to do water sampling. So it can do hydrographic testing like salinity, pH, temperature. And those are things that we would use to gauge the health of the bay. But it can do it, wherever you want in a large area, and then of course with the video and everything, then yes, you could survey things like wrecks and stuff like that.
Where do you take this locally? Have you been out in the Gulf and the bays, or where do y'all go?
Yes, I mean we train right there. We were on the bay, so we train right at the dock. So the kids can go in there and you can see a target with the sonar, and then drive the sub to it, and then get close enough to see what it is under video. And so they practice doing that. Offshore, we've used it. Ian Perry, which is Tyler Perry's brother, was filming a TV episode, pilot for TV, and so they were doing that offshore. And so we were talking, and they were mentioning that they had a character in the TV show that was afraid to get in the water. And I said, and the whole show was like kids scuba diving and stuff like that. I said, you know what? I got this underwater ROV. Yeah. Why don't you have her operate the ROV, and that's her way of being part of the team. And they included it in the TV show.
Oh, cool. We'll have to check that out. That's interesting. We've got a lot more cool stuff. We're going to take our final break, and we'll be right back with camera on. Okay, Panama Marine, Maritime Academy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll get that straight now. Maritime Academy, Captain Ron Boyce. Before we get back to them, let's look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. And I was down there yesterday, saw George Duran, and they're doing well down that way. 125 to 325 this morning, and 150 to 350 this afternoon. Talking about this while you were talking, I'm thinking about all the possibilities, all the things you can do with this. And I was thinking about, with St. Joe and all, about looking for scallops. You wouldn't have to spend all that time moving your boat 5 or 6 or 7 times. Just put that out there and look around. Okay, they're going to be over there. Everybody go there. But anyway, all kind of possibilities. But okay, so if some viewers out there with kids or grandkids or nieces and nephews, they're interested in how would they enroll in this program? What would they do?
Well, you go to our website, AMIKidsMaritimeAcademy.org, and AMIKidsMaritimeAcademy.org,
okay.
and you can just hit enroll now. So right now, the only students we have this year are 9th graders. So it's got to be 9th grade. So the next year, is current 8th graders. So if you're a current 8th grader, a family with an 8th grade student, and you're kind of interested in this, just give us a call and come over and take a tour and see if it's something that you would like to do. It is a fully accredited school. Yeah. It's going to be a small school, so the class sizes are small.
Okay.
It's a block schedule. So we got plenty. We wanted to have enough time to do the interesting stuff, So a 45-minute period just won't do it if you're going to try to get one of these in the water.
That's a good point.
And play with it. So we need the 90-minute periods.
Okay, here it is here at AMI Kids Maritime Academy. You can go and check it out there.
Yeah, and right below there should be.
You can click on it. Go online. You
enroll
click
now.
On,
Yeah,
enroll
click
now.
right there on
it
enroll
is.
now. So
that we're always talking about finding exciting things and good things for our young people to do, and that's certainly. I like the idea of a block schedule to give you time. As a teacher, I've been on both of them, and something like that, you need a block schedule. And your location, you can't find a better location.
No.
Right down there in the bay.
No,
y'all lucky. Y'all are very lucky that y'all started a long time ago. That was an old warehouse building.
Panama City Machinery and Supply.
Panama City Machinery and Supply, and they were able to get it for like next to nothing because nobody wanted it. It's down there in the water.
Right.
And now look at it now. It is in prime location. I can promise you, y'all could sell that to these big companies.
They tried. People tried to buy it. And I told the board, I said, look, you sell this and it ain't a Marine Institute any longer. We can get another property, but we'll never get another property on the water.
No, you won't. Not down there. That's prime property. And so your staff, who all is on your staff now? Some people.
Well, Jamie Vickers is the principal.
Okay.
She runs the school. So
right.
It is a fully accredited STEM high school. We have some good teachers right now. We got a really great math teacher with a Navy officer engineering background. He's going to help with the underwater robotics and later on with the engineering courses. We have a great English teacher. The kids love her, Mrs. Sissons. No, I'm sorry, that's the math teacher, Miss Summer. She's all over it, teaching a great job. We have great students. There's still some openings this year, though we are small. They are small, so when we fill up, we're full.
Yeah.
And so really, current 9th graders that might want to come in on second semester, unless they're transferring from another block schedule, it might work. But the next year, if you're an 8th grader, you really want to come over and take a tour, take a look at it. If you go get in early, like at the 9th grade, and you take the aviation courses, you could get like 12 college credits from Embry-Riddle with that.
Wow.
And so if a kid's looking for we also have a great Sea Cadet program there. We have the Civil Air Patrol operates out of PCMI now.
Okay.
So whether you want Air Force or Navy Marines, either way we got you covered. In terms of an ROTC type program.
Yeah.
We have really good partners over at the Navy base and at Tyndall Air Force Base and Huntington Ingalls Industries for the underwater robotics. We have plenty of partners. We also have partners in construction classes.
Well,
the kids can get industry certifications.
Well, that's what I mean. There's so many careers that you can do. You get a background for. You get a foundation over there for so many different careers, well-paying jobs.
Well, the three emerging jobs of the future for our kids and our grandkids are going to be robotics, programming or coding, the algorithms that control them, and the data management, gathering the data for the algorithms to operate out of.
There you go.
So those are the three big career paths. So obviously we're very supportive of the robotics part, and the coding part we're probably going to add later when we get bigger.
Okay.
And the data management would also start with computer classes.
Well, that's awesome. That's really great stuff, Captain Ron. We appreciate you coming back on, and we'll stay in touch. And every time we get a chance, we'll try to get some kids over there.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, buddy. Glad to have you. Thank you all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate the viewership. This is really good stuff. Y'all check it out. Enjoy today. Do something good for your fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.